Hello, sports card fans, wrestling card nuts, nostalgia nerds. This is a channel for you. This is CollectAWrestlePalooza. I'm Tom. Welcome to the channel if you've never been here before. I do post content every week on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And today I'm doing an old school wrestling card mailbag video. So I have 4 envelopes here from eBay and other sources that I've purchased over the last few months. They collect up on my bench. I pull them at random, so I have no idea what's inside, and we look at the contents together. I am into 80s and 90s pop culture, not just wrestling cards, but also VHS, video games, action figures, you name it. Let's get to the opening.
CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.
So as I mentioned, I have 4 parcels. I've got a blue, a purple, a standard envelope, and then this other wild card here, which feels like a slabbed card in an oversized envelope. I'm going to start with a standard envelope, and the reason why is I think I know what's inside of this, because generally I buy slabbed cards. I just don't like the game of trying to evaluate raw cards and pictures. You just never know what you're going to get. But this one was too cheap to pass up on. I believe it's a 1989 classic Shawn Michaels rookie, which I got for $1.50. Free shipping. It was on an auction. I couldn't believe getting something so inexpensive. So even if this card is nicked up, has soft corners, a bad surface, I don't care. It's a Shawn Michaels true rookie. This is indeed the Shawn Michaels rookie. In my opinion, this is the best Shawn Michaels rookie just because it's a portrait card, and the Rockers at that time were an amazing tag team. Folks that don't remember the Rockers, they were known as the Midnight Rockers in the AWA, and then when they came to WWF, or perhaps even before that, they dropped the Midnight from their name and were just known as the Rockers. I don't recall if that happened in the AWA or if that happened in the WWF, but amazing tag team. Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, first ballot Hall of Famers as a tag team, and then their individual careers, of course, Shawn Michaels, first ballot as an individual star. One of the rare cases that a tag team member, the one of them became better known in his solo career than as a tag team, even though the tag team was huge. If anyone can think of any other examples of that, please feel free to post a comment. Love getting your comments, love seeing what you guys think about the content. Even if you just like this video or like wrestling cards, just, give a thumbs up or post a comment and tell me how you're doing, what's going on in the hobby in 2023. But again, look at this card, 1989 classic Shawn Michaels rookie for $1.50 landed. What an amazing time to be a wrestling card collector. Just makes me excited for the future. People that have a lot of cards that are looking to sell, just keep buying. I mean, what have you got to lose for $1.50 for a card like this? Couldn't believe it. No one was bidding on it. I was the only bidder in the auction. Back of the card, this one's number 134, the Rockers. Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, combined weight of 463 pounds. Back in the day, wrestling fans know they always would announce their combined weight. I'm not even sure if they do that anymore, because to be honest, I don't really even watch wrestling anymore. Michaels from San Antonio, Texas. Jannetty from Columbus, Georgia. Famous wrestling move, double drop kick from the turnbuckles. I've mentioned this on my channel before too. I like reading the backs of my cards. I always learn something, or I remember something that I'd forgotten about. I forgot about their amazing double drop kick from the top rope. Now I'm going to have to go back to YouTube and find it, but this team was known as High Flyers. They were crazy, amazing pops when they came out. Anyone that doesn't remember that, particularly go back and look at the AWA stuff with the Midnight Rockers. They had famous feuds with Playboy Buddy Rose and that tag team. I forget who his partner was, but a couple of blonde guys that were heels. And when the Midnight Rockers would come on, the girls would scream, the audience would go nuts. People loved Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. So let's see, unusual characteristics. It says there's no tag team around that executes the high-risk aerial maneuvers so effectively. Very true. Number 134, 1989, Titan Sports, Gametime, Shawn Michaels rookie with the Rockers. Moving on to envelope number 2, I'm going to do the oversized bubble mailer now. One other note before I move off this card. They packaged this very carefully, and I give the seller kudos for that. It's in a nice hard, you know, top holder. It's got a plastic sleeve and a team bag, a crisp new team bag. Even though I only paid $1.50 landed and they lost money on this, they took the time to package this card up right. So thank you very much to the seller. You know, that's just the best way to support the hobby, is to make sure you protect and covet your cards and give them love. If you don't give them love, no one else is going to give them love too. So that's a nice little tidbit there. Anyway, moving on. This is another slabbed card. Again, I bought this for a song. This is a PSA 10 Bruno Sammartino in the Panini Select series. This is called the Tricolor Prizm. And I don't know enough about the fancy new cards to know if Tricolor Prizm is a limited print run, or how the short prints work, or what the numbering system is on any of these, because I'm not really into the modern stuff. I'm more into the old school stuff. But I mean, geez, look at this. This card cost me about $5 landed, maybe a little more, maybe it was $10. I don't remember if the shipping was included or not, but I do remember the auction I won for $4.50 for a PSA 10 slabbed Bruno Sammartino card. And it's not the standard select, it's a Tricolor Prizm. It's one of the parallels. And Bruno Sammartino, for folks that don't know, any of the new school people out there, collectors, Bruno Sammartino is known as the living legend for a reason. He was the Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan. He held the title. He was a huge fan favorite. He never lost. Bruno Sammartino is an amazing, amazing Hall of Famer from WWF, WWE. And that's a pretty cool image of him. You know, of him doing the armbar there, looking out at the crowd. The Tricolor Prizm catches the light really nice, and this is a Gem Mint 10. I advocate to buy Gem Mint 10s in general. I feel like even base cards in Gem Mint 10s have some value, and I'm going to be doing so in a later video. I think I'm going to do a video about base cards in Gem Mint 10s, because I feel like that's a segment of the hobby that doesn't get enough love. If you take a card that's not special, you like a base card, and you put it in a Gem Mint 10 slab with low pop, that makes it special. You know, moving into the future, 10, 20 years from now, who's going to have Gem Mint 10s of, you know, Mike Rotunda or some of these mid-carders? That's just the first one that came up off the top of my head. But, you know, think of these mid-carders and then get their card and save it. And then you're not only saving just the history of that wrestler, but you're saving the history of that card set. And that's what's important. These are artifacts. So the Select series, this is a Bruno Sammartino Tricolor Prizm. Within the Selects, the Tricolors have a certain, you know, history to them and a certain love for them. The old timers have a certain history and love for them. The base cards have a certain history and love for them. And what you see collectors now do, which drives me nuts, is they open up these packs and they sort through it, and then they put the, you know, the parallel in a sleeve, and everything else they just almost throw away immediately. That is just not reverent to the hobby, in my opinion. So, like I said, one thing I'm going to do in the future is highlight some base cards in PSA 10 slabs. I feel like it's a segment of the hobby that doesn't get enough love, and it's up to us to love them and portray them as such. All right, so that's enough about Bruno. Let's move on to the next card here. This is my blue envelope. Another slab. Oh, yes. 1985 O-Pee-Chee number 66 Hulk Hogan. Another card that I don't feel gets enough love, particularly in the O-Pee-Chee version. Of this 1985 card set, not too many of them exist in high grades. People that buy them in PSA 10s know you pay a few $100 for a PSA 10 of any 1985 Topps or O-Pee-Chee card. The O-Pee-Chee ones are significantly rarer because they came out in Canada. Just a nice little variation. This is arguably a Hulk Hogan rookie. You know, I mean, the 82 and some of the older poppy cards and that sort of thing were not from an officially licensed product. This was the first time Hulk Hogan came out on a licensed product. So while I don't really consider it a rookie, it is an early Hulk Hogan card from Hulkamania. It's not the portrait card, but it has him saying it's rock and wrestling forever. Rock and wrestling is what saved professional wrestling. Cyndi Lauper, Captain Lou Albano, you know, those folks, and the MTV connection with WWF is what made WrestleMania 1 a success. When people knew from MTV the Brawl to End It All, or I forget what it was called, but it was a special on MTV with Rowdy Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff and Hulk Hogan, and you know, that's what saved professional wrestling and brought it mainstream, is when people from the music industry started to watch WWF. If WrestleMania 1 was not a success, who knows where we'd be right now. So to me, this is an important just the advertising of that time in wrestling. And again, it's the rare O-Pee-Chee version. It's an amazing card. It's in a CSG 8. And I bought it for just, you know, a handful of dollars. I mean, great time to buy in the hobby. Final envelope for today. This is a purple envelope. Again, a wrestler that I don't really know too much about or don't really, you know, like, I guess, per se, but CM Punk. I just feel like it's a good time to buy CM Punk. He's at a low in his career because his AEW run was not very good, but in the history of wrestling, CM Punk is up there with his pipe bomb and his connection to the fans, the straight edge mentality. There's certainly a collector base that likes CM Punk cards, I feel, or at least there will be into the future. He's one of those, you know, folks that's not going to trail off. He has his place in wrestling history, and you can buy really high-grade CM Punk cards really inexpensive. So this is from the 2022 Upper Deck AEW set, which is also a, you know, a pretty big set in the history of wrestling cards, because AEW cards are just coming into prominence, and it's of a major star like CM Punk, and it's in a 9.5. You know, folks that may not want to collect 10s, 9.5s are pretty dang close. And you can buy them for, again, you can buy this for a song right now. I bought this for a few bucks. Beautiful, beautiful CM Punk base card in a high grade. Just memorializes this time in wrestling, and it doesn't cost you much money to get involved. So that's the point of my video today, is you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get into this hobby and find amazing artifacts that have some relevance in wrestling history and in the hobby in general. It's up to us to really, you know, look for these gems, promote these gems, advertise them, love them ourselves, because if we love them ourselves, other people are going to love them too. That's my thought for the day. Have a great week. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Take care.
CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.